So you want the white glove treatment for your surrogacy, right? Well, why don't we just look at what agencies celebrities use? Stick with me and I'll let you in on the secret. Let's be honest, we all look to public figures and celebrities for advice on stuff. I mean, hey, if Oprah tells me to read a book, probably gonna read it. Or when Clooney tells me to drink Nespresso, hey, I'm all over that stuff. By the way, thanks Clooney, that was a great recommendation. But the question becomes, should I use the same agency that a celebrity used? Well, my name is Corlando Scott. I'm a surrogacy attorney, and I've worked on a number of quote unquote celebrity surrogacy journeys. And you've seen some of these journeys in the news lately, or maybe in the tabloids. But let me tell you exactly how those celebrities choose their agencies. So when celebrities are choosing an agency to work with or to help them find the right surrogate, sure, there's a number of factors involved. They want to know about security and privacy. They also want to know about cost, just like you do. So let's talk about who they choose and why they choose them. The answer is going to surprise you. So what agency do celebrities choose? The one that's right for them. I know. You want the name of a particular business or company, but it's a very personal process. And one celebrity is not the same as another celebrity, the same way that you're different from the person next door. Every person going through the surrogacy process should find professionals and surround themselves with professionals that fit their vision and their needs for growing their family. At the end of the day, celebrities are people too. They put their pants on one leg at a time, as the saying goes. So they want the same things that you and I want. They want to grow their family and they want to do it the smart way. So let's talk about that. In all actuality, the process works the same whether you're a celebrity or not. And I should also say this because it's a misconception that celebrities use the surrogacy process simply out of vanity reasons, because they don't want to gain the weight you gain to be pregnant, or they don't want stretch marks or silly things like that. The reality is that no doctor worth their medical degree is going to endanger the life of another woman by having them carry someone else's baby if there's no medical reason. So when you see the stories in the news, just know they're not vanity reasons. It's because there must be a medical necessity. So one of the things that celebrities want and value is the same thing that you want, and I'm sure you value: privacy and confidentiality. You know, fertility is a very personal matter, and surrogacy for sure is a very personal process. And so it's not everyone's business what is going on in your surrogacy journey. And so for celebrities, they want to make sure they work with people who, number one, value privacy and confidentiality, and number two, guarantee to maintain the privacy unless they want to be public about their journey. And there are a number of celebrities who have been public about their journeys, from Elton John to Kim Kardashian to Gabrielle Union, and the list goes on and on. And so we see those stories in the news and we understand that the Tyra Banks of the world have been able to grow their families through assisted reproduction, and it's their choice to release the story. That should also be the same for you. It shouldn't be up to your surrogate whether your story goes public or is talked about on social media. And it also should be something that the surrogate is entitled to as well: privacy and confidentiality. So let's look at the celebrity side of privacy and confidentiality. For the most part, the privacy and confidentiality terms around a celebrity surrogacy journey is the same as it is for yours. You know, they want to be assured that the public doesn't find out until they want them to, the same as you. But there are a few extra things that you want to make sure of if you're a public figure. For one, if you're a public figure, you're likely to deal with paparazzi. You're likely to deal with everywhere you go, people are snapping photos of you and posting pictures about you and writing about you on social media. So if they were to find out that you are growing your family through surrogacy, then they're likely to start doing the same to your surrogate. I represented the surrogate of a famous couple who told me the story of going to her child's school. She was taking her child to school and she noticed that in the bushes outside of her house, there was a photographer. She called me and she was freaking out saying, "Corlandos, oh my God, there's this photographer outside my house across the street at the park in the bushes, and I know they're snapping photos of me. What do I do?" Well, that's a nightmare situation because, as you can imagine, the story goes on that the photographer started following her and they knew where she was. And then we had to find different accommodations for her living arrangements. And you don't want that. So as a celebrity or a public figure going through the surrogacy process, you want to think about that beforehand. You may be used to the public, you may be used to paparazzi, you may be used to a lot of attention, but it's likely that your surrogate won't. And so there may need to be some extra considerations in the way of training or advising the surrogate on how to keep a low profile or how to respond if she is approached by media or by rude photographers. So that's something that you need to make sure that your team at the front end has plans for. One of the crazy things, probably the craziest thing that I've encountered in doing a celebrity journey was we had separate cars for the surrogate to drive from her hotel to the delivery hospital because there were paparazzi camped out everywhere. So we didn't send her to the hospital in the same car that she drove into the hotel with because we wanted to make sure that they weren't looking for her. And sure enough, as the decoy car left the hotel, the photographers rushed after the decoy car, and she left peacefully in another car and was able to make it to the hospital and keep herself stress-free. And really, that's what we want at the end of the day. We want a stress-free surrogacy. Speaking of stress-free surrogacy, I have a free training that walks you through the surrogacy process, and I call it the stress-free surrogacy. And in there, I'll share more stories with you about parents that I've helped avoid roadblocks and potential pitfalls throughout the surrogacy process. If you want your hands on the stress-free surrogacy, click below, click the link, and I'll get it in your hands. One of the last things I want to talk about is, do celebrities pay more to do the surrogacy process? The answer to that question is it depends. The reason why it depends is because it's the same as with a non-celebrity intended parent. It all depends on what the parent wants. I've had clients who were not celebrities who required certain things of their surrogate. For instance, I had a set of intended parents who really wanted their surrogate to eat an organic food diet throughout the pregnancy. The surrogate was on the exact same page, so the intended parents footed the expense of the surrogate having organic food throughout the pregnancy. I've even had requests as crazy as wanting to make sure that the surrogate only wore certain fabrics, like certain threads of cotton. Yeah, you may be wacky, but that's what they wanted for their journey. And it made the process more expensive, but it wasn't because that's what it costs to do surrogacy. It's because it's what it costs to do things their way. So when we're talking about celebrities, again, it depends. One thing that I want to dispel is the myth that surrogates for celebrities make more money. That's one of the things that celebrity clients have always asked is, Corlandos, will I be exploited because of my status? And one of the ways to make sure that that doesn't happen is to match anonymously. Or I say anonymously, but we can say semi-anonymously. During the match process, and we call it a match process because we want to make sure that the parents and the surrogate are a match for each other on all levels, their philosophies on healthy living and things to do throughout a pregnancy, as well as their stance on abortion or termination. We want to be able to match. To match, you have to learn things about each other, right? So the surrogate gets to learn things about the parents get to learn things about the surrogate, and then at the end of that process, they make the decision to work together. Well, one of the things I've done with celebrity clients in the past is make sure that we can match in a semi-anonymous way to let the surrogate know things about them, about their lifestyle, without disclosing their legal identities. And so that after, based on everything the surrogate knows that has been truthfully given to them by the parents, they decide to match. After that process, we've oftentimes disclosed the names. But at that point, we have already decided to match. We already have the basic terms of the benefits package, and it's probably going to reflect the benefits package that any other surrogate would demand in that market and from that agency. So we're not in a position where the surrogate or potential surrogate is saying, oh, I'm about to represent or I'm about to carry a baby for this celebrity couple, let me up my price. No, So when you see these surrogates in the news and you think, oh, this is the surrogate who carried for a Kardashian, or this is the surrogate who carried for this celebrity or that celebrity, I bet they got paid a lot of money. Probably not, because most likely if they matched in a way that was really fitting, they signed on the line before they ever knew who the intended parent truly was, or before they knew the legal identity of that parent. So that leads me to this point. In surrogacy, there is and there should be a standard. There's a standard that we have to abide by, whether we're a public figure or not. So why is there a standard? There's a standard to avoid certain things. We want to avoid attracting certain personalities to the surrogacy process who want to simply take advantage of someone because of their public position or because they're a public figure. We want to make sure that people are doing it for the right reasons. And when you have a woman who matches with a set of parents before knowing that they're some kind of celebrity and they're willing to do it along the same terms that they would have done it for a non-celebrity client or non-celebrity parent, we can be sure that they're doing it for the right reasons. At the end of the day, the entire surrogacy process is, contrary to some people who don't like surrogacy, the entire surrogacy process isn't about renting a womb. It isn't about making children a commodity. It's about helping someone fulfill their dream of becoming a parent. And whether you're a public figure or not, if you want to be a parent, you deserve that right. Do you have a favorite celebrity surrogacy story, or have you been inspired maybe by a public figure who went through surrogacy and you said, hey, if they can do it, I can do it? If so, comment below and let me know. I love to read your comments and I love to jump in there when I can. So click the link below, leave me a comment, and also subscribe. Yeah, just click the little subscribe button. Also click the button right beside it, the little bell. That'll let you know when I release new videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.